Welcome, citizens of Gotham, to The Fire Rises, a Batman podcast focusing on all things The Dark Knight and the DC Universe. If you'd like to connect with the show, you can find us on all the social media platforms. Just look for us with the handle tfrbatpod. If you have thoughts, questions, comments, or even suggestions for future episodes of the show, you can reach us by email. Just shoot those emails to tfrbatpod@gmail.com. We are back for our first episode of 2026. And when I say we, I mean myself, your host, Eric Carter, and my co host, my partner, Joe Fornerado. Joe, how are you, my friend? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Eric. What's going on?
Oh, not a lot, man. We are finally past the holidays. This is like that time of
Yes.
year when it's
Yes,
like,
it is.
yeah, there's nothing really to celebrate. And then, I mean, I know we do have like, I don't know how your work is, but we have that like one holdover. We have MLK coming
Hmm.
next Monday, and
Yeah.
then it's like that barren stretch until May, until the next federal holiday. So
Yeah. So
it's
the way our schedule is set up, the union actually, with my job, we have it so we pretty much have pretty almost a month between every holiday. So
mhm.
we get off for Martin Luther King Day in January, we get off for President's Day in February.
Mhm.
And then, March, April is usually Good Friday for Easter. So we always get a day off within like a month or two of each other. It's all spread out evenly. So that's one thing nice about that. And yeah, we do get a nice weekend for Martin Luther King Day. And we're at the point now where, as depressing as it is, the Christmas is over. I still have not removed all of my Christmas stuff from my basement down here. As you can see, I still have the Santa hats on some of my figures and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I still have my tree up. I
I
haven't
see a tree
removed.
beside you. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't removed everything yet down here, but the rest of the house is completely bare. Um, I leave up icicle lights for the winter to try to keep the house a little bright and cheery still. And but yeah, and we're just yeah, we're at the lull and just trying to get through the kids back to school and everyone back to work and but it's all right. It's you get back into the routine.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Well, we are here today to talk about a comic. I feel like we haven't done comics in a while, so this is really fun.
Well, no
Uh,
recent comics in a while. It's actually our consecutive episode of comics coverage.
oh, that's true.
But
Yeah, I
we have
didn't.
this might be the most recent comic we've ever covered.
Yes, I think that's true. You're right because I completely forgot we just did Batman Santa Claus. So this is
Yeah.
two times in a row we're doing comics. But
Hmm.
like you said, that I mean, this is the newest comic we've ever done on this show.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're. It feels like a movie review, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of true because it's probably one of the bigger things going on in Batman right now because it's been a such a
Oh,
lull
I,
with motion media.
I would argue, and we'll talk about it. I would argue it is the biggest thing
Yeah.
with Batman.
Because it's
Well,
been so quiet lately with Batman and everything else. So comics, this has been pretty big and big enough for me to get back into comics because I mean we'll get into that too, but I have not read a Batman comic in a long time. And a current one especially. I kind of, hit a little bit of a funk with reading current Batman and I had some time free the last few days and that's kind of what sprung this episode.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad you read that, and without, I mean, burying the lead anymore, because we're gonna get into it in just a moment. If you saw the title of the episode and the art that's on our social medias, you know that we're talking about Absolute Batman today. But Joe, before we get into the story itself, I do want to mention our partner sponsor in Panel Bound Comics. Um, so much going on. I know you were just telling me about yesterday that you saw a video, and I have not checked
They haven't
that
put it up yet.
you have not checked. I think
No.
I can't remember the reviewer, but they are also an affiliate partner with Panel Bound Comics. I know
Yes.
that. So Panel Bound Comics, they are your hookup if you are looking for hardcovers, if you're looking for trades, if you're looking for absolutes, omnibus, collected editions, and it's not just from the big two DC and Marvel, but also like Boom Studios, Dynamite, Dark Horse. Image Comics, any and all, they've got your hookup. They're a small business that brings the savings to you. And if you use our link in the description, you use our two promo codes. The first is tfrbatpod to save you $2 off of any order. And the second is tfrbatpod ship it together. And that'll save you 5% off of any order of three or more books. So make sure you go to Panel Bound Comics and check out what absolute Batman they have because I do know I I'd have to recheck. I think volume one is sold out on their website as it's selling out kind of everywhere. But they do have, I just checked earlier, they have volume two, which is going to go on sale February 3rd. So that is up for pre-order on Panel Bound Comics. So, and I'm sure they will have a restock eventually of Volume One. So if you see it on there, grab it. But go ahead and check out Panel Bound Comics. Support them and support this show as you save some money with them. But Joe, without further ado, let's dive into it. Let's talk all about Absolute Batman, Volume One, The Zoo. All right, Joe. So before we get into the story itself, because I know you and I were having a discussion about this the other day, you just read Absolute Batman, the first volume, right? The Zoo.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. You had previously read issue one a couple of months ago or something like that.
It's been a while. I don't even remember when I read it. Because I actually was gonna pick up with issue two, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta start at issue one and just reread it to make sure everything is fresh. Because
Yeah.
it's at least 2 or 3 months. And so yeah, I had some free time, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get into this because everyone's raving about the book. Everyone that has read it loved it. I remember really liking the first issue. Definitely intrigued, but not enough to where I was like, I need to get to the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was more just time. Like, the first issue was longer, and I love Scott Snyder, but his books read longer than normal or every other, than a lot of other writers.
Mm.
So it takes me a little longer to read and to comprehend everything. So it was a commitment, and so I put it to the side, knowing that eventually I would get to it, and
Yeah.
I just happened to get to it.
And well, I've told you I've been keeping current on it.
hmm
I've
So you are current. Did you read issue 15?
I just read 15 the day before yesterday.
Okay.
Um,
So I guess you're still a month behind because you're reading with Infinite, right?
yes and no.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get into all that.
Okay.
So I read issue one when it first came out, which I had to look back. It's been well over a year since issue one came out. The first issue,
Yes, because it's on issue 15 by now. So yeah.
yeah, the first issue was October of 2024.
And I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy it. I swore off all monthlies. I had to just stop because I did if I pick and choose which issues I'm getting, it just becomes a hassle. And then it's like, oh, I kick myself for missing this one or missing that one. So I had to just cut myself off. And this is one that because it's Scott Snyder and now it's impossible to get, I do wish I got at least issue one when it came out. But whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I was the same way. I had stopped buying physical comics quite a while ago.
hmm
And it part of it was because I just wasn't interested
Yeah.
in the Batman title, and that's the main thing that I buy. Um, so which is a bummer,
hmm
because there was such a drought of just no interest in picking up the Batman book. I wasn't even reading it on DC Universe Infinite. I mean, the closest thing I came to was I loved Nightwing by Tom Taylor. That was the
Yes.
most current I was with the Bat family for a long time.
Yeah, I read that right up to when the Titans book started. and I kind of lost interest a few issues into Titans. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna get back to it because it wasn't that I didn't like it, it just I fell off it. So I'm gonna get back to that because I think it only ran like 15 issues with him on it, if that.
probably something
Yeah.
like that, I think. Yeah. Um, but I was it's so funny because when we started seeing like teases and things about this, Scott Snyder returning to Batman really
Mhm.
caught my interest. And then we saw the design for the Bat logo. And then we saw the design for Batman.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I think like Andy and Brendan and some of the
All of
folks
us were pretty much on the same page where it was
like
like, okay, this
what
ain't
it
for us.
what is this? This is not for us. So I wasn't really interested, but I happened to be when the first issue published, I happened to be my wife and I were out somewhere and there was like a whatever store she was in, I was not very interested in, but there was a comic shop like a few doors down.
Yeah.
So I went in there while she was shopping. They had the first issue on the rack, but it was like an incentive. It was like a 1 in 50 variant
Oh,
cover.
okay. Yeah.
And it's the only one they had. And I was like, and usually I will try to pick up, like big copies of books, even
Hmm.
if it's not like I got Batman #1 recently.
Hmm.
They had it on the shelf, and I was like, "Do you have any of the actual standard
You're the
covers?"
reason that they always are coming out with the number ones
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
know they're going to get someone to come in there and read.
probably. But I asked, I said, "Do you have any of the standard covers?" And she said, "No." She said it went into a second printing in like 2 days,
Yeah.
and I was
How much
wow.
was the 150 variant? Do you remember? Probably about like 20, $25, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's Mitch Gerard's art
Hmm.
and it's a foil cover.
Okay.
So it's very very nice. Um, but so I got that one and I never thought about it again. I put it in my box, never thought about it again. I think I didn't even read that issue. I read it on DC Universe Infinite when it came out like a month
Hmm.
later. And I remember liking the first issue, but then I was like I lost track of it, kind of like you. Well then, like over this holiday season, Absolute Batman exploded,
Yeah.
which it has been. It's been the #1 selling comic since it started. Since October of 2024, Absolute Batman has been the #1 selling comic across all companies, which is great. It's great for Batman. It's great for the comics industry, and it's puts the Dark Knight back on top where he should be. Um, so I saw all this movement and I decided over the holidays, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read this. So I went into DC Universe Infinite and I read the first volume. I'm like, this is great. It hooked me as I
Mhm.
was reading it, and then I went into I finished reading all of them with 15 coming up. Now, what I was going to tell you earlier about how I'm reading this, still reading mostly on my tablet, but my guy in North Carolina that has my
Mhm.
shop
Yeah.
happened to, because he posts online all the time, he happened to get a collection of like 2 through 14,
Okay.
missing one or two issues here and there.
Hmm.
Or no, he had 1 through 14, missing a few in between. And I was like, I don't need #1. And I texted him. I was like, what are the prices going for? And he gave me a price, but then he was like, for you, I'll give it to you this out the door, no shipping. And I was like, done.
Nice.
So I now have, and I found a few extras at a comic shop that's very close to me. They're like third or fourth prints of some of them,
Hmm.
but I have the
You
whole
have the whole
run
run now. Yeah.
now. Now I have the whole run up to this point.
Did you
And
track down the original number one or no?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
That's outside what I want to spend right
Yeah.
at the moment. Um, but for the first time in years, I have a pull list again.
Wow.
I have Absolute Batman and the main title, Batman, because I like that too
Okay.
so far. I mean, I just read 4 the other day. 1 through 4, they've got me. right now. So
Okay.
it's a good time to be a Batman comic reader.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're here to talk about Absolute Batman. I will say I've read issue number one of the Batman run. Um, and I was because it's only on issue four, I know my my attention span, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let that pile up a little bit before I dive into that. So I kind of went back, and I will say, getting into Absolute Batman, I've been meaning to dive into Mark Waid's kind of mini universe he's building over there. So like,
Hmm.
you got World's Finest. I read a little bit of that when it came out. I wasn't crazy about the first arc of World's Finest. But when he started Batman and Robin Year One and Teen Titans, I really wanted to get into those.
Hmm.
So today I started Batman and Robin Year One, which is excellent. And I'm gonna start Teen Titans next because Teen Titans is a limited series, so it's only like 6 issues.
Gotcha.
But I did enjoy Batman number one. It's just not. I don't need to get back into the monthly grind of reading comics, so completely content just reading chunks when I got the time and when I'm kind of in the mood. And it's nice getting back into that and feeling excited again to just. It's like binging a TV show for me. I now have 10 more issues of Absolute Batman to read
Yeah.
whenever I'm ready. And it's nice to just say, you know what, I'm going to read the next collection. Now the collections that came out, are they trades or are they hardcover?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not deluxe though, right? Just a regular hardcover?
No, not deluxe. Yeah, I'm assuming at some point they will start doing deluxes.
Yeah.
Usually that's like a year or so after
Because
the
I'm in the
initial
wait.
release.
I'm trying to be good with that. It's easier for me now as I'm getting older to wait for the deluxe or for the
Same.
absolute. The
Yeah.
absolute Batman, the irony of the title. It's hard for me whenever someone says absolute Batman, I immediately go to the absolute hardcovers.
Let me. That is a huge nitpick for me because
Yes, and
agreed.
it's hard to know what people are talking about when they're talking about absolute Batman. The search engine idea of it is not easy either.
Yes, and DC is the
They might have
only.
done that purposely. That's kind of a smart marketing move if I'm being honest, because if I'm looking for absolute Batman titles as far as the hardcover line, and I don't even know this exists, these pop up all the time.
That's very true. But you know that I mean they are the only company that has the absolute editions.
Yes.
It's their proprietary, the premium oversized hardcover.
Yeah.
So, them calling it this line the absolute universe really bugs me a little bit because
It is
it's
confusing.
yeah. But speaking of the universe, I wanted to ask you, did you read anything about how this came about, like prior to the books starting? Do you know how it kind of came about?
No, and I am so out of the loop with everything. I I remember talking to you already about how I thought these were like Elseworlds things, or
Yeah,
like I took it as the Marvel Ultimate line. It was Ultimate, right? Ultimate. What was the?
yeah, which they have a new Ultimate
Oh, do they?
universe
So
going
I
on.
thought
Yeah.
this was going to be like their DC's version of that. Um,
It
to an
sort of
extent.
is, but it's also not Elseworlds because it's all of this spins out of,
I use the term Elseworlds probably very incorrectly.
yeah,
That's my it's not the main continuity, so it's Elseworlds.
right.
That's how I use it, not the Elseworlds branding.
And I guess it sort of would fit into that category a little
Yeah.
bit, but it is tied into the main continuity.
Okay.
So because this spins, the all in. All the books have all in on them now.
I know that whole thing spun out of an event they did a couple years
Yeah.
ago, and I'm so out of the loop of everything. And we could probably talk an hour just on everything around the book and not even discuss the book itself because there's so much to dissect with all of this that I am completely in the dark on.
So really quick, just high overview, um, catch up. All in and absolute power,
Mhm.
which is an event within All In,
Okay.
spawned all this. It was basically a battle between the Justice League and Darkseid.
Hmm.
So the absolute universe spun off of Darkseid's energy,
Okay.
basically created this universe where the main universe that is in continuity that we all know and love is based on hope, and Superman is the anchor of that universe.
Hmm.
The absolute universe is based off of like despair.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's why um all these heroes in the absolute universe, they have like this mistrust from the public
Oh,
instead of
okay.
being held up as these ultimate heroes.
And I've only read Absolute Batman. So, like, have you dove into Absolute Superman or Absolute Flash or Wonder Woman or any of those?
Yes, I've read the volume 1 of Absolute Superman, and I just finished last night. I finished Absolute Wonder Woman volume 1.
Okay. Are they all at around the same point or they staggered them?
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are at the same point. Flash is a little behind, and they have a Martian Manhunter.
No Green
That's
Lantern yet?
I can't. Maybe
Yeah,
I'd
I
have to
thought I
look.
remembered seeing it, but I could be wrong.
They probably do. I just haven't gotten into that yet.
Hmm.
But I I have liked all three that I have
Okay.
read so far. So I like the universe thus
Yeah.
far. But let's talk about this one. Let's get into what we're here to talk about today. Let's talk about the 1 through 6 of Absolute Batman, and it is the Zoo. So and just to kind of get it all out there, we're not going to go beat by beat over this story like we normally don't when we cover stories, but just kind of give you the high overview of our thoughts on it. So we've got Alfred Pennyworth, who is not the Alfred that we know and love. He's kind of he's a what'd you call it? He's like a spy. He's
Yeah, I wanted to say mercenary, but that's not the right term. I think a spy is a better term because he's working for the government.
yeah, and
He's like intel. Like he's just collecting
yeah,
intel. Yeah.
and he's sent to Gotham to investigate this terrorist group that's in Gotham called the Party Animals, who is led by Roman Sionis, who we all
Mhm.
know as the Black Mask. Bruce Wayne in this story is not rich. He does not live in a manor. He does not come from old money. He is a very blue collar person.
I want to get to that eventually because
Okay.
that confuses me a little bit. But go
Okay.
on.
And we find out through the story that we get these flashbacks that in this universe, Martha is alive,
Yes.
and Thomas did die in a mass shooting at a zoo. Which is why the title of the story is, or this arc is, the zoo, because throughout the following modern day with this absolute Batman, we also get flashbacks of what happened at the zoo and what
Yeah.
happened in Bruce's
Yeah, we get little
childhood.
breadcrumbs as the story goes on.
Yeah. But the main arc of this story is Batman squaring off with the Black Mask and his party animals, his terrorist group. So Joe, let's circle back to where you wanted to talk about. Talked about you wanted to touch on Bruce's blue collar situation here. So what's
So until you just said it, I was confused with that because I don't understand. There is a situation where Roman tries to bribe him with money and all that.
Mhm.
My thing with him not having any money is how is he financing Batman? Because he still has a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Are we just supposed to kind of go with that? Because I didn't take it as he was. I understand what you're saying because his father wasn't a. And yeah, we're gonna try to not spoil. Are we spoiling this? We're not gonna go beat for beat, but we're gonna
No.
discuss some stuff that's probably spoilery.
Well, from what I gathered in this, we know
He's a
that
teacher.
Thomas was a teacher, yes, but
Yes.
Bruce is an engineer in this story,
Okay.
and he works for the city. So, and he doesn't have any like creature comforts, or we don't see any like he's not exactly a lavish liver.
No.
So
But his
my
Batmobile is not exactly something that he could have just.
Well, it's a dump truck.
It's a pretty elaborate dump truck.
It is, but he's an engineer.
Okay. All right.
So part of it, there's a portion of
Suspension of
this,
disbelief.
it's comics. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the
I
Batmobile
mean,
was.
come on, we're everyday people. I can't afford a Ford F-150, and
I'm
we're talking we're talking Ford pickup trucks are 100 grand now almost.
We're also not engineers,
No, that's true.
and I don't know that he procured that dump truck legally.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. There's definitely more to it than that. But it's just funny because it didn't even occur to me because I don't think they make it, and maybe they do going forward. But to me, it wasn't something that was like driven home as a plot point that he is a blue collar Batman. I don't. They just don't. They make it a point to say that Bruce Wayne isn't the rich playboy, but I
mhm.
never got the. I guess I just kind of went with it and didn't think about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it's
But
not a huge plot point. There's a lot going on in this story. They don't really focus on that. It's just this is it. Let's go with it.
yeah. What do you think of the relationship between, because it's contentious at first between Alfred and Bruce, or Batman, very
Yes, and I
contentious.
I love it because I think after issue 1, I was worried they were setting up Alfred as the villain.
Okay.
Which, looking back after reading issues 2 through 6, like I don't know why I thought that, but I think that was my way of like, okay, how different are they going to make this universe? How much stuff is going to be the universe turned on its head just to do things differently? So I'm glad they didn't go that way because I like,
There's still some of that coming.
okay,
Buckle up. I mean, not
not
necessarily
with
with
Alfred,
Alfred,
but
but
I think I can, you can see what they're doing with the other villains, which is fun, and I don't know where they're going with that. So they're having fun with certain things. They are, and I that's what this is for. Like that's you're reading this book to get a different take on everything. So,
yeah.
but I like that the core of Alfred and Bruce is still there, or we're gonna get even closer to it as the book goes on. But even in the first arc that I read, I like that they're finding whether it be a happy medium or just a common ground to work a relationship under is really fun because
Hmm.
I didn't know where they were going after the first issue. I was worried that it was going to be just different for different sake, and it's not the case. Like, I think because the first thing we saw from this universe is the bat suit and the bat logo and this big hulking Batman. I was like, what the hell am I going to be reading here? Like, am I reading like a Norse mythology Batman? Like, he didn't even look like a person. But when
Yeah.
you read the book, I never feel like it's that stylized.
I think it
Like, I
the
feel like that image that they released was made to make it worse than it is to get your attention.
well, I mean, and he does have the big emblem on his chest that turns into a battle axe.
Yes.
He does have
But Bruce looks like a person in the
yes,
book,
a very large person.
but not like he doesn't look like an anime character from like you know how what was is it Flashpoint where the characters are weird shaped and stuff like he doesn't even look like
Yeah.
that. He looks pretty normal in the book for the most part.
Yeah. And and I'll tell you, it's kind of like reading the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb stuff.
Hmm.
Like we've talked about before, anywhere else this art probably wouldn't work for me.
Yeah,
But in this world
yeah.
that I know is not my regular continuity Batman, that that is rich and does have the
Hmm.
manor and all that. It fits this world really well. I'll be honest with you,
Yes.
it's grown on me. I still don't like the
Well,
logo so much.
no, but I don't even think about it while I'm reading the
Right.
book though, and I think the I'm not even saying this as a negative, but I will say like they got everyone's attention with the reveal and the logo and that image of issue number 1, like the cover image or the promo image, whatever they use, where it's just straightforward, just the him just he he has this huge presence of him, but like he's just for people like us that saw that image and were a little deterred by it. like
Hmm.
turned off by it. I almost want to say like if anyone's listening to this that hasn't picked up the book because of that, I would say that is like holding the book back for some people where don't look at that image and think no it's not for me, which is what happened to me originally
And me.
because I think the image did what it was supposed to do as far as getting people's attention and especially maybe the younger people that are like, "Oh, this is cool. I got to check that out." I
Hmm.
hope it didn't discourage so many people in our demographic because I think that's almost a disservice to the book because the book is really good. I'm glad this this is going to sound really weird. I feel like this book had to be as good as it is to get everyone's attention because I think it was almost fighting against itself with that image to some people. And the
I
fact that it's become such a huge phenomenon at this point,
Yeah,
it forced us to be like, all right, I got to see what the hell everyone's talking about because I had no
exactly.
interest in reading this at all.
And not only that, but I'll tell you, and I do like the first several issues of the new run on the main Batman title.
Mhm.
Just to get that out of the way. But I will say that one thing that I think this book does better is it gives a launching point for people who have never read
Oh,
anything Batman
100%.
before. They can
100%.
they can dive right into this and they don't have to catch up on anything. Whereas
No.
Batman number one, that is my major frustration with that
I That was why I didn't go to issue 2.
is
I will completely admit that.
and I was hoping when they did this relaunch that we were going to get at least a really good jumping on point where I didn't feel like I had to go back and read some of the previous runs.
Or at least go on Wikipedia and say, okay,
Exactly.
what the hell happened in All In or whatever that caused all this? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I only stopped reading for a couple years and I'm completely lost.
Yeah. And I do think Batman number one is not so bad that you can't understand what's going
No,
on.
definitely not. But they're like just Commissioner Gordon's status. Um, there was one other thing that I couldn't remember what it is that just
Vandal
totally caught.
Savage.
Well, that was the Commissioner Gordon thing. I was trying not to say what
Yeah.
happened with Vandal Savage. There was one other thing that I can't remember what it was that threw me off, but that kind of stuff where, I mean, to their credit, which comics do this a lot,
Hmm.
a Batman number one might get me to go back and read the event, which I have thought about doing,
Yeah.
which is hard because events are long and treacherous. But sometimes I'm in the mood to do it, and sometimes I tackle it depending on how I'm doing it or how I'm feeling, how tired I am.
I have made myself a rule that I only read tie-ins if I absolutely love the story. Otherwise, I don't got time for that.
No, not the tie-ins. I mean the actual like if there's an all like
Yeah.
the all-in event, if there's a main story that I could just read like 6 to 8 issues of whatever
Well,
that
that's what I'm
is.
saying though. Like I went back and read Absolute Power
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what the name of it. I can't remember. So
out
okay.
of curiosity. I read Absolute Power, but there's like a ton of
Oh, I'm sure.
tie-ins, and I said no, I'm not.
Was the main story good enough? Like it was
It's
fine
good.
or
Yeah, it was
okay.
fine. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it was fine,
Yeah.
and it caught me up a little bit.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think that is the strength of this story for a lot of people, and I think that's why it's selling so well. Is people have a great jumping on point where
Yes.
they can just start here. Okay, this is all I need to read, and I'm caught up.
Yep.
So, and
And the good point to what you're saying, that is me in a nutshell, because when I think about what I've read the last 2 days, it's all stuff that is completely in its own little pocket. Like I read
yeah,
Absolute. I read the Mark Waid little jumping on point for Batman and Robin Year One. And
hmm
I loved that. And now I'm going to read Teen Titans, which is a good jumping on point because it's his own little thing that he's doing. And I don't have to worry about starting to read something and going, I don't know what that means. And that's
that
really nice, especially when, you don't have time to do all that stuff anymore.
that's the coolest part of the success of Absolute Batman as well. That I
Yeah.
think it rising tides raise all ships
Yeah.
because the main Batman titles selling well, which is I jumped on because I
Yeah.
enjoyed Absolute Batman. The Batman Dark Patterns, which just
That's the next one I'm about to check out.
it
Yep.
it just got to its finale, so now that it's all out there, that's the next one I want to read as well. And I'll be honest with you, the ease of use with the DC Universe Infinite app, that app has become great.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much you've dove into it recently, but they've especially if you've got Ultra, you've got like the collected editions now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. And this is a tangent. I'll be quick.
Well, in all this has
Have
almost
you
become
seen?
it wasn't planned. This has become kind of a comics catch up for
Yeah.
more than anything.
Have you seen or have you heard of DC Universe Go?
I don't know what it is. So is it like digital is it like digital specified versions like they used to have? It's like their new version of that where it's made to read on a tablet.
It's formatted either to read on a tablet or your phone. It
Okay.
You can read it on your phone and you don't have issues because it scrolls vertically.
Okay.
And they've
That's what I figured it was. I was kind of avoiding it because I like to read it how it is in the comic, and I was just like, I'm gonna read, the
and you
absolute
still
the
get the
regular.
exact same story you do
Mhm.
like you normally would. It's just formatted so if you're on the go, hence
Got you. Yeah,
DC Universe Go, you can just scroll
yeah,
like you do on social media
got you.
and read it. So really cool. That app is great. But I digress. Back to the story. So we talked about Alfred. You touched on it briefly. I love the take of Harvey Dent and
Yes.
Waylon Jones and Edward Nigma, Oswald
Oswald
Cobblepot,
Cobblepot
and
and a
Selena
little bit
Kyle
of Selena Kyle.
being
We haven't seen
Bruce,
her in the present yet, correct?
not in this arc. No.
No. Yeah. So we're starting to see a little bit of the breadcrumbs from them as children
And they grew
in the
up together.
beginning.
They are good friends. They're
This
the
is
core
comp
friend group.
so not necessarily a tangent, but a little nitpick of mine, and it was jarring for me. I don't know if you remember this because I mean you have a better memory than me. Sometimes I'll throw stuff out at you randomly and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And I don't know how because I forget things the next day. But at the end of issue 3 or 4, it doesn't even tell you it's like an epilogue. The last page is just the beginning of the next issue. That's how it felt for me. It ends with just Bruce and Selena talking in the room. And then I'm like, "Wait, is this the beginning of the next issue or is this the end of this issue?"
Oh, I'd have to go back and
And maybe it's the way the digital format was, where it literally was the first page of the next issue, and I didn't catch it.
did you read the
Because
collected edition on there?
yeah, so it's
Yeah,
possible that happened.
I think
Um,
so.
so that's maybe I just misinterpreted how they broke up the pages, which
Hmm.
is sometimes they do that too, because they don't always put the cover in between each issue. They just have the title page, which is sometimes page 2 in the
Hmm.
collected. So that could have been. But yeah, I love the whole dynamic with the villains like playing poker or playing cards, whatever they were doing, and it seems
I'll tell you, let me go ahead and get this out of the way.
okay.
Going forward, reading this, don't think of them as villains.
No, I'm curious how they're gonna go with it. And
In this universe, being Batman's friend is sure tough. I'll say that.
okay,
It is it's something. Um so yeah, it's so fascinating though. And I really like this take because it's you
the
don't
take on Nigma is my favorite, I think, so far because he's the biggest part. Waylon and him are the
mhm,
two biggest parts for the first arc.
yes. And but they have like hints of the characters that we know, like to their personalities,
Yes.
but they're not.
Hmm.
Um so that's really fun. And then I mean, the first big appearance of Batman in the story is the big battle with the party animals at City Hall when
Yeah.
there's an assassination attempt on Mayor James Gordon's
Hmm.
life, and this is like I know Scott Snyder had to have been like, we just have to have badass as this entire first appearance. Um,
Well, you get it is that, you know, how do we do badass, violent, hardcore Batman, but still not have him kill? Like, let's go as
yeah,
far again. And that's my nitpick all the time. Like, oh, we're completely fine with Batman cutting people's hands off and paralyzing people and all this stuff, but God forbid He
This
kills
Batman's
somebody.
ears are literally knives that
Yeah,
he's
like
jabbing in people.
that'll be my biggest nitpick again because I think it's so stupid and trivial that people are like, "Oh, but if he killed someone in this book, that would be the end of the world." You know?
I agree. That is my biggest nitpick too of the way that Batman's presented because he is so violent.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I
why
mean,
would he? He's so violent that I don't even buy the fact that he's not willing to kill somebody.
yeah, he has the razor sharp chains on his cape and
Yeah,
things like that, and he's not killing people.
but again, that's probably a. I wonder if that's a DC mandate at this point.
It might be. It
Yeah,
might be. Um, but yeah, I mean, you get everything in this first bout. You get the knife ears, you get the battle axe from the chests,
yeah.
which where he cuts somebody's hand
Cuts his
off.
hand right off. Yeah, right off.
Yeah. You get the chains on the wings,
He
which
does something right after he cuts someone's hands off too, where he like says, he says something about like I'd get it checked soon before you die or something. I don't remember what it was. It was something weird like that though.
yeah, yeah. But through going through this, we Pennyworth is at first he's told to stay out of the way, and then he's told to target Batman, um, or get him if he becomes a problem to eliminate.
Yes.
Which he eventually ends up not doing. They kind of form a little bit of a tenuous partnership, which and then we're skipping around a little bit, but so the the part of the book where they're in the Batmobile, Alfred and Batman,
Yeah.
and Batman just like yeets him out of the Batmobile into the river. That was hilarious to
Yes.
me. And this version of Alfred, I feel like sometimes deserves it. That is my other nitpick. Sometimes I don't like this Alfred so much.
Yeah. I mean, he's not our Alfred. He's
No.
definitely a take on Alfred, but he's a fun take on him where the heart of the character is still there enough,
Mm, yeah.
but this is not. I. I mean, I would say it's on the level of is it Earth One Alfred, but I think even more so to the extreme than that.
Yeah, yeah, the very hardcore
Yeah.
militaristic version. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's that dialed up to 11, I
Yeah.
would say. What do you think of Roman Sionis and Black Mask being the big bad of the first arc?
I like him being the big bad. Again, my nitpicks are going to be the designs probably for all of these because I think the mask is weird. But
Looks like an alien.
yeah, and the other thing I couldn't figure out was like, were they making it a secret that he was Black Mask?
Um,
Like, maybe like I filled in the blanks on my own because we know Roman Sionis is Black Mask, but there was one point in like issue 4 or 5 where he's talking about who Black Mask is.
Well, and I think that's because I don't think it's necessarily Black Mask, but there's somebody behind Black Mask pulling the strings, and we'll get to that at
Okay.
the
Oh,
end.
okay. So maybe that's a spoiler for the next arc or something.
No, it's
Oh,
not because
oh,
it's
okay.
in the epilogue of this story, right at the end of issue
Oh,
6,
okay. Got you.
which you and I talked
What I
about
asked you
earlier
about.
today. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's where I got a little confused. But again, I like the portrayal of Roman. I think he's actually probably the closest to the comic book version of himself, or the comic book version, to the canon version of himself, or the proper version.
Yeah.
I really like, and I like Black Mask as a character. I think it works for this story, and I hope that that's kind of what Snyder is doing moving forward: is tell a story and then pick a villain that works for that story.
Hmm.
But again, he goes right to the Joker in the second arc, maybe, or the third. I don't know when he does Joker. Um, I've seen the design of Joker, so I don't know when he comes in. I've seen the design of Bane, that made a big deal. So I'm curious to see where all that goes. But as far as just Roman is concerned for this arc, I thought he was a great villain. I really liked the whole idea of the what the heck is it? The party people? What the hell are
Party
they?
animals.
Party animals?
Hmm.
Party people. Um, so yeah, I like the whole idea of that. I like the conflict with Batman and the money thing. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, him
I
using the money, and it's so weird because I was like, man, I don't know how I feel when I first read it. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, about Batman actually taking this bribe from Black
I
Mask.
didn't think he was ever going to take it.
Oh, well, I mean, he did. He
Yeah,
took the
but not
money.
the way I didn't. I
Um,
didn't expect it to hold. I will say I was a little unclear about the way he got back at him. I had to go back and like look at the pictures clearer the next time. I do
mhm.
like how the bat signal is basically what causes the money to burn, but very
Yes.
subtly. They don't throw that in your face.
Yes, but I mean, they give you the backstory of why the light is there. And it all ties back to the zoo
The
and
zoo,
why it was
yeah,
built in this. And I love that those flashbacks, they set up who Bruce is as a person because
yes, they lend to the story that we're getting, which is perfect.
you see these conversations between Bruce and Thomas.
Hmm.
You see Bruce's mind as a child start to develop like these engineering
Yeah.
skills because he's building these
Oh, the
bridge.
whole thing with the bat bridge and whatever.
Yeah.
I had a hard time understanding what he was actually building. It was a bridge for bats, right? But like it was a thoughtful project for a school,
Yes.
obviously, and he took it to the next level
Right.
instead of just
Yeah.
building a simple bridge.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and so him using this money, and then you know an about face because the concept is cool too because Black Mask was like basically no Batman for a week, and I'll
Yeah.
give you this much money. Um,
Oh, I don't even remember. I don't think I ever caught that. That was just for a week. I
yeah,
thought it was he was actually like making him quit.
no Batman for a week
Oh,
was the premise.
okay.
Um, And then yeah, and I like how Sionis is smart enough where he had that contingency. He knew that this was probably going to be not go the way that he wanted
Yeah.
it to. So these weapons drops around the city and the Black Mask,
The
masks
masks. Yeah.
that basically turn the city into like a it reminded me of the Purge a little bit.
Almost a combination of the Purge or like John Wick, where like they get bounties, like they put the mask on and they automatically get a target and
Hmm.
a reward for whoever they kill.
And
And
I
but giving
had
them the anon I'm gonna screw that word up. Anonymity. Say that word for me.
anonymity. Yeah.
Anonymity. Thank you.
I I felt like this was going to be our loss of Martha in
I
this
did
arc.
too.
I'm kind of glad they didn't because I like
No,
having
because I
her
think
around.
it works really well for the story to have her around as long as possible. And I
Hmm.
think having it in the back of our mind that she might not make it leaves us in suspense.
Yeah, agreed. Um, so yeah, and I mean, and I like that
This is one of
earlier
the
in.
stories where I could see Commissioner Gordon going or Mayor Gordon going, and you don't have to spoil anything or even make a comment about that going forward because I don't know what happens in the next
Oh
two
yeah, I'm
arcs.
not going to spoil anything,
But
which we never gave a spoiler warning on this, so I might have to go back and, and
yeah,
put one
it's
in early.
because we kind of like subtly went into everything, and I don't think we're talking about a story where people might want to know how different it is, and yeah, we're
Hmm.
kind of spoiling stuff from the later issues, but I don't think it would have hurt or helped my. It definitely wouldn't have hurt my opinion of the book. I think hearing more about it might get more people to check it out.
Yeah. And I think what's so cool about what they did with Sionis is making sure that they set him up as a threat not only through his power in Gotham
Mhm.
City but also physically.
Yeah,
Because there's the Bibbo Babowski, and I don't think we're going to see him anymore based on that.
yeah, that was
Um,
something.
where
Oh, he's
Bi
fine.
where Bibbo was a prize fighter,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure Black Mask kills him
yes, and
in,
that's how I took it. And he said
in a
something. Ah, don't
sparring
worry about
session
him.
on his
Yeah,
yacht. Yeah. He looked pretty dead in
yeah,
that shot, but I think that makes it even more impressive when Batman does defeat him on the
mhm.
yacht at the end of the first arc.
Yeah,
And then what you were talking about with us coming back to is the epilogue of the first arc
yeah.
sets up that Joker is the true mastermind behind everything. This our version of this the absolute version of Joker.
Now, if you didn't know Joker was being teased, would you have gotten that from that last page? Because I didn't.
I
I
picked up on it.
assumed
Yeah.
it was the Joker just because who else would they be teasing?
Well,
But if
and because they kind of talk about him earlier in the book where they talk about that he's an elusive billionaire. They call him Joker because he never laughs at anything.
I don't even remember, is that issue one?
I am trying to remember. It's
I
talked
don't even
about
remember that.
it's it's talked about in the little area where Alfred's trying to contact Julia, his estranged daughter.
Oh,
They kind of cover that. So
God, I
and
remember that.
you'll get much more information about Joker
Yeah.
later on in the in the books.
That was an interesting thing with Alfred and his daughter Julia
Yeah.
and trying to get her out of town. And I would assume she's not out of town because he stayed. That was the whole point, is he was taking her with him, right?
Yep. There's also a setup for later books in here where Batman uncovers that Sionis has this scheme to build a black site prison.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that remember the black site prisons because they will come back in the
I
future.
figured that played a big deal because that was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but I did enjoy that.
Yeah. And then we get the reveal Batman reveals himself to his friends, to our, our
Yeah.
quote unquote villains, our rogues gallery
Yeah.
that are Bruce's friends. What did you think of that?
I liked it. I liked that they were, mad at him for not knowing, and I liked it. Wasn't there a subtle thing where someone says Eddie figured it out 2 weeks ago or something,
Yeah.
right? But I like the dynamic with them because if they do turn, I'm actually going to be disappointed because I like the repertoire, the rapport they have. I think it's fun.
I also love that we don't have this Batman going like abroad across the world,
Hmm.
training to become the what he is,
Yeah,
Batman. But we have the knowledge that all his friends have these areas of expertise.
yeah, that's a good point.
Like Waylon Jones clearly taught him how to fight because
Hmm. He's
he's
the
a
brawler. Yeah,
he's the brawler. He's got a gym that where he
he gets a
trains
lot of,
people to fight.
and he's got Eddie as like the knowledge guy, obviously, and
Yes.
almost like an AI assistant with his
Yep.
little robot or whatever he had there.
Yep. Yep. So I love all that. A lot of this first arc is a ton of setup,
I'm sure, yeah,
and we've got
but not so much so that I wasn't invested in what was happening in this arc
yeah.
already.
And I think that was the cool thing about having something as interesting as this like global this local terrorist group with the party animals and
Hmm.
Roman Sionis was interesting enough that you don't mind all the setup.
Exactly, because you could very easily get bored of like, oh, it's just Black Mask in the first arc. Like, why? Like, let's get to the good ones. And then you see all the Rogues Gallery is friendly in this to begin, and you're like, wait, what are they doing here? Like, why do I want to read this? But it's done really well, and it's entertaining.
Yeah, completely agree. All right. Well, Joe, anything that you really wanted to mention that we left out? I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of things, but anything front of mind?
No, I don't think so. I think just yeah. I mean, I know we spoiled a little bit, but I hope that if someone listened to this and they said, ah, you know what, I don't care if I'm spoiled because I'm not going to read it, or maybe, they didn't think they would. Hopefully, us talking about it gets them to read it because I had no interest in reading this at all, but it's been talked about so much. And I had so much fun talking to you about comics in general the last like few minutes, just because I haven't talked about any current comics in a long time
Yeah.
or read any current comics in a long time. So the last couple of days for me have been fun because I hit like a lull with Batman comics or DC comics in general the last couple of years. I think the last current comic I read was like the Tomasi run, and
Oh,
that was
Batman. Yeah, because I know
yeah.
you read Nightwing
No,
because we were all reading Nightwing kind of together. Um,
yes, we definitely read Nightwing because that was the only book that I really stayed current on for a long time because that was around the time when I think Tomasi left. And
mhm.
I don't even know if I finished the Tomasi run. And then I was like, well, I want to read something. And that's when everyone was talking about the Tom Taylor run in Nightwing.
Yeah.
So I kind of like went off on reading some Ninja Turtles and other stuff to stay in comics, or I just read like some Power Rangers the other day. I'm trying to stay in it with some stuff, but it's been fun to get back into the DC Universe app because sometimes I don't get my money's worth out of that if I stay out of it. And then you pick it up for a month and you're really easily your money's worth. All it takes is a couple days.
Isn't it fun to like comics though? Remember
Yes.
how fun this is?
This was, yeah, it felt like back in the in 2011 when the new 52 started and I really
Yeah.
got into it again, and I was lost with some of the other stuff, but it's it's nice to have something to look forward to now where I got again 10 more issues. I still got to now I shouldn't say I haven't read anything. I've read a lot of the last Halloween, so
Mhm.
I gotta get back into that. If that finished, I don't even know. I think it did.
I think so. Yeah, Batman Hush
Hush is
2.
starting back up again,
Well, with
or
the final issue was delayed,
okay.
so it
Is
hasn't
that
come
the
out yet.
final issue or the final issue of the first arc?
I don't know. I
That's
don't.
the I feel like that was split up where like there's the first six issues, then the next six, or I don't remember how it was doing it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to end the arc before Batman #1, and
Oh,
the
okay.
final issue got delayed, so now
That
it's not going
much?
to be in seek. Oh, it's like this coming March is the final
Jesus.
issue.
Okay,
So
yeah, so I got to get into that again, but I've always tried to stick with some things that catch my interest, but this is having a couple arcs to get into has been a lot of fun and being able to and it's Scott Snyder. We have a soft spot for Scott Snyder. We do.
yeah, and well, and I'm glad you said that because he's the overseer of the
Of the
entire
absolute,
absolute
yeah.
universe.
Yep.
And not for nothing. Need a little interest in DC. Get Scott Snyder in there.
He sells. There's
He
no
sells.
way around it.
Yep.
Um and I don't know if I would have even given this a shot if it wasn't him. I think that is a big I mean if it was getting this much talk and it wasn't him,
Eventually.
I would have
Yeah.
eventually gotten to it. But I'm glad that this book has been so big for DC and I'm glad I enjoyed it. It would have stunk if was getting so much great word of mouth and I was like, it's just not for me. Like I'm too old now. I guess it's just
Yeah.
not my cup of tea anymore. But it works. It's still Scott Snyder. It's still good storytelling and I think it's different enough, but
Mhm.
it's not so different just for different sake. They're not I mean, yes, it's different. It's not the normal Batman, mythos, but it's good different. I think if you're just writing a good story, I don't care what you're going to change, and I think that's the important thing is it's a good story.
Mhm.
So I'm interested more than I'm caring about what's different, which is fun.
I agree. Agree completely. So I'm assuming you're gonna continue reading?
Yeah, I'll probably read arc by arc. So
Mhm.
I guess the next one is probably 6 through 12. Or no, sorry, 7 through 12.
7 through 14 is the
Oh,
next arc.
so I'll probably read 7 through 14 and then I'll stop when until the next one, completes.
I would recommend if you do that, if you're still interested in this universe, Volume 1 of Absolute Superman is on DC
Yeah. Oh, I'll
Universe.
probably go all through it because
And
eventually we're gonna get an Absolute Justice League, I'm sure.
they're already setting that up a little
Yeah.
bit. So,
I don't doubt that for a second, and that's fun too.
and I think that what's going to become interesting is at some point there's there's been mention that through this whole all in thing, worlds are going to collide.
Mhm.
So the main continuity and the absolute, they're gonna collide at some point. So
I wonder if DC is gonna collide this thing and we have another reset of no more multiverse. We go back to one world and start from scratch or something, or I don't know. I feel
we'll
like
see.
their continuity gets so muffled, so just totally muddy all the time, and eventually they need to reset things again. And we always harp on Alfred being dead. They got to find a way to
Oh,
bring
that's
Alfred
still
back.
well. And they've bless them. They try. They're doing their best in the main title without actually doing it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
got that a little bit on issue 1 with like
yeah,
an AI version of Alfred or whatever it is.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to diving more into this. And again, comic recap in general. I'm really enjoying the Mark Waid Batman and Robin year one, and
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to doing the Teen Titans book in his universe, and probably catching up on World's Finest too. That's my next thing because I'm way behind on World's Finest. Is that ongoing or is that done?
I think it's still ongoing. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
because that's
sure.
the one that kept going. So
And then there's
yeah,
DCKO right now, which is also
I have
Scott
no idea
Snyder.
what that is.
I haven't started reading it yet, but it's an event. So
Oh, okay.
um,
Yeah.
issues 1 and 2 are
I
out. I
don't
think.
like any of the titles for these events. I feel like they don't give me anything. They don't tell me what's happening. Like what KO doesn't mean anything to me. All in doesn't mean anything to me. Like it
Yeah,
used to be like it was a crisis or something or Like they put something in the title to tell me that it was an event. I don't know what any
Yeah.
of this stuff means. It just seems like trendy words. I don't
I'll
know.
I'll let you know how it is. I'm after I read it, that's on next on my docket is to read 1 and 2 of DCKO.
And you were
So
okay reading All In by itself? You didn't have to read anything prior to
I
it?
only read it Absolute Power. I haven't read
I'm sorry,
anything
Absolute
else.
Power. See, again, I can't even remember what the hell the names are. So, was there something leading up to Absolute Power that you needed to
I
read?
maybe I don't know. I couldn't
Because what was the big
it read
event?
okay by itself, I'll say
What
that.
was the big event where like Nightwing was leading the Justice League? That was probably like 5 years ago now, right?
No, I think that was I think that's part of All In because it was at the end of it was close to the end of Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing.
Because wasn't that when like and Superman and Wonder Woman were all gone or something, right?
Yeah, which kind of from my understanding led into all this
Okay.
because it then a battle with Darkseid and
Yeah, there was,
yeah.
and I never read any of that stuff. I just remember hearing about it. So that's
Yeah.
when I kind of lost it. So when Jonathan
Well,
Kent became the man Superman, I was confused and didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
well, regardless, it's good to have a way back in now.
Yes.
So, um, all right. Well, we'll put a pin in Absolute Batman there. Before we do say adieu, I do want to say that we're a little behind. I'm a little embarrassed. I apologize. Way behind on we had a review on Apple Podcasts from
Mhm.
months ago that I've missed. So, I want to make sure we get that mentioned. Jaden B285. The title of this review is 10 out of 10 Batarang Rating. Found the podcast while looking for reviews of Superman 2025 and have gone through the entire backlog of episodes while at work. I am very excited to see more from TFR in the future. Keep up the great work, guys. Well, Jaden, I really apologize for being so late on your review, but thank you so much for leaving us a 5-star review. And thank you for the kind words. And now that we're over 100 episodes, I can say, wow, the entire backlog, that's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah.
So, well, some of those early episodes.
Well, I wasn't on all of them back then. No.
That's true.
No.
That's true. You were on the first
No.
one though.
Thank you very much, Jane. Yeah, it's and hopefully this kind of reinvigorates us a little bit to get on here more because it's been I think just busy with the holidays and stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to get more episodes out in the new year too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping for a bigger and better year for TFR in 2026.
Mhm.
But I think that's a good place to end it, Joe. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for, you didn't even read for the show. It just happened that you had read this. So I was
Yeah,
like,
we didn't even. So
let's
that's
talk
literally
about
what
it.
happened was I texted you and I was like, "Hey, I just finished Absolute Batman. I really enjoyed it." And you're like, "Do you want to cover another show?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Sure." And
Yeah,
this was probably the easiest, quickest decision we had to make for an episode in a while.
exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here again. And why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
You can find me on X, Instagram, Letterboxd. I think that's it. J Forn11, and on Facebook as Joe Fornerato, Fornarotto. And yeah, that's about it. And hopefully find me on DC Universe some more.
Excellent. And as for myself, my personal accounts, you can find it just about all the social media platforms. Just search me Carter89. That's me Carter89. The show can be found on just about all the platforms as well. Just search TFR Batpod and you will find us. Again, if you have thoughts, opinions, questions, ideas for future episodes, you can send us emails. We read those on the show. That email address is tfrbatpod@gmail.com. If you're looking for a way to support the show, the best and easiest way to do that is to leave us a rating and review on any podcast platform. And if you leave a written review on Apple Podcasts like Jaden did, we will read it on the show. If you're looking for another way to support us, and we don't ask that you spend a dime on this show, but if you'd like to, you can go to redbubble.com, search Shop TFR, all one word, and find our logos created by Justin Kowalski on all kinds of merch there. Our theme song was created by Gaurav Venkateswar, and his music can be found at gbtunes.com. And don't forget to check out Panel Bound Comics. Use a link in the description of this podcast. Use our promo codes and save yourself some money as you're shopping there. Support this show while you do so. That's going to do it for this episode of TFR. We'll talk to you guys soon, but until then, make sure you keep that bat signal lit and pointed skyward. Batman was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane and is the sole property of Warner Brothers Discovery. The Fire Rises, a Batman podcast, is in no way associated with DC Comics, DC Studios, or Warner Brothers Discovery. The thoughts and opinions of the participants of this show are their own and do not reflect the companies that they work for. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.